In the present video in current electricity, we will be discussing about the potentiometer, its principle, and the applications to which we can put it. We will be talking about, as we said, the potentiometer, the construction of potentiometer, the principle, and its practical applications. First, the construction. The essential parts of a potentiometer are a wooden board which is more than 1 meter long, brass terminals fixed on the board, Eureka manganese or Constantan wire of uniform area of cross section. The length of the wire is generally in even meters, 4 meters, 6 meters, 8 meters, 10 meters. Thick copper or brass strips, as you can see here, wooden board, the Constantan or Eureka or manganese wire divided in parts of 1 meter each. 1 meter, then we have thick copper or brass strip, 100 to 200 centimeter, 200 to 300 centimeter, and so on. The potentiometer essentially is a device which is used to measure the potential difference or EMF, that is electromotive force, and compare the EMFs of the cells accurately, which we cannot do with a voltmeter, as we will study shortly. Let's first state the principle on which it works, and then we will actually derive this principle. We will see how we come to this result. For a wire of uniform area of cross section, that is a part of our construction, carrying steady current, potential difference across the given length of wire is directly proportional to the length. Mathematically, we have V equal to IR, or substituting for R, we get I rho L by A. If the wire has a uniform area of cross section and the current is steady, rho is otherwise a constant for material of the wire, so this term is a constant. You can write V equal to KL, where K replaces rho I by A. Rho I by A. It's a constant and it is called the potential gradient of the potentiometer. Graph between V and L is a straight line. Now, how to assemble the circuit? Take the potentiometer. There are 4 more components in this diagram: the key, the rheostat, the ammeter, and a battery of EMF E. So you have in all 5 components the potentiometer, the key, the rheostat, the ammeter, and the battery. They are all to be connected end to end with positive terminal of the battery going to 0 centimeter or end A. Let's complete these connections first. So these are all joined end to end, and since we have a single circuit, same current will flow through the entire circuit. Here we have a voltmeter to measure the potential difference across the wire AG, part AG of the wire. Insert the key here, current begins to flow, the direction of current is as marked. The current, let's take it as I. This is I, the current flowing through the entire circuit. Same diagram for your reference. This is just a repetition of what you have studied just now. Mathematically, we get V equal to IR equal to I rho L by A, or rho I by A into L, separating L. For a wire with uniform area of cross section and carrying a steady current, rho I by A is constant. So we get V equal to KL or V proportional to N, where K is rho I by A is a constant. We call it the potential gradient of the potentiometer. SI unit is volt per meter. One thing here needs to be mentioned, that a smaller value of the uh, potential gradient gives a more sensitive potentiometer, means the accuracy of measurement will improve if we reduce the value of K. That is why we make use of a fairly long wire, minimum 4 meter, maybe 10 meter, 6, 8, 10 meter. Longer the wire, smaller the value of K, and better is the sensitivity of the potentiometer. The principle has been stated once again. You can see. Now, practical applications of the potentiometer. Before we actually go in for the study of practical applications, here is a special device which we are going to use. I'll like you to know what is the purpose of this device. It's a two-way key. As the name suggests, it's a key or a switch having two possible circuits. So there are three terminals: terminal 1, terminal 2, terminal 3. If you connect, if you complete this connection between 1 and 2 and leave this open, the current will have this circuit to follow. Means E1 will be in circuit. If you disconnect 1 and 2 and connect something between 2 and 3, if you make a connection between 2 and 3, then the circuit with E2 will be complete and E1 will be out of circuit. So there is a two-way key which we will be using in the next part of our diagrams. First practical application is comparison of EMFs of two primary cells. Assembling the circuit, which is always very important. This circuit is repeated except for that voltmeter part. Now here what we will do is that voltmeter will now be replaced by the two cells. Let's see how. This is circuit for cell 1. Here we are going to fit in cell 1. Here we will fit in cell 2. This is a two-way key about which we have talked. So we can complete the first circuit or the second circuit as desired. So you have a resistance box and a galvanometer also, and a jockey which can move anywhere between 0 centimeter to 4 centimeter end. The given cells of EMFs E1 and E2, the EMFs are to be compared. That is, we have to find E1 to ratio E1 to E2. Terminals we are naming as 1, 2 and 3. Insert the key K, main circuit key, so that the current begins to flow, and the key between 1 and 3, terminals 1 and 3. This brings cell E1 in the circuit. Now as you can see, when we think of this galvanometer, the battery E tends to send the current towards right through the galvanometer, and the cell tends to send the current towards left. We adjust the position of jockey J to a point J1 so that the galvanometer shows no deflection. In this case, the EMF E1 of the cell is balanced by the potential difference across length AJ1 of the potentiometer wire. AJ1 of the potentiometer wire. We call this balancing length as L1 for zero deflection in the galvanometer. We get E1 is equal to KL1. Now we remove the key between 1 and 3 and insert it between 2 and 3 so that the cell E2 comes in the circuit. Again repeat the experiment process to get the balancing length L2 for the cell E2. We have E2 is equal to KL2. Dividing the two equations, we get E1 by E2 equal to L1 by L2. So these measurements are accurate because EMF, remember, EMF is the maximum potential difference measured under a certain special condition, and that special condition is no current drawn from the cell. Here we are making use of null method, that is no current is being drawn from the cell. Therefore, the potentiometer is better instrument for recording the EMFs. If instead you make use of voltmeter, some current definitely passes through the voltmeter, therefore it does not measure the EMF accurately. The next application is the determination of internal resistance of a primary cell. Again, the circuit is shown. This part of the circuit is same, means you have the potentiometer, the rheostat, the ammeter, the key, and the battery of EMF E. Between 0 centimeter, which is common terminal for positives of the cell and the battery, we connect the cell whose EMF is to be, whose internal resistance is to be determined. In parallel to this cell E, we connect a resistance box S called shunt resistance box in parallel. It has a key in this circuit, so that when you don't connect the key, we are not drawing any current from the cell. We measure EMF. When you insert key, some current will pass through S, so we will get V and not E. Assemble the circuit as shown and show that the positive terminals of the cell E and battery E1 are connected to 0 centimeter end. Keep K closed. K is the main circuit key and K1 is the key in the shunt resistance box circuit. So K1 should be kept open and record the balancing length. Balancing length means again no current drawn from the cell. So you are measuring EMF equal to KL1. Now insert K1 also and introduce a suitable resistance S. With this circuit complete, you get some current through this circuit, that is the value of potential difference now drops to V. Measure the balancing length, you get V equal to KL2. Divide the equations. It leads you to the ratio E over V equal to L1 by L2. This is the equation which we get. E we know is V plus IR, where small r denotes the internal resistance of the cell, which we are going to determine. And potential difference V is I into S, because current is drawn from the cell is I and S is the potential difference. S is the resistance introduced from the resistance box. Rest is all mathematics. V is IS. You can divide numerator and denominator by I. That gives you value of R over S and hence value of R. There are a few facts, few points which are very important when you are using the potentiometer. Remember, the working of potentiometer is based on null deflection method. The balance point will not be obtained if E is less than E1 and E2. We get the balance point only if the main circuit EMF exceeds E1 as well as E2. The potentiometer can be regarded as an ideal voltmeter, and it is preferred to a voltmeter because of point 1, that is it uses null method. You may subscribe to our channel CBSE 042. Should you have any feedback, you can write to us on this email ID ikg54@yahoo.co.in. Visit this blog physicsbeckons.wordpress.com for more topics. Wish you a happy learning in physics. Thanks for watching.